Welcome to this explainer. If you've ever felt completely mentally exhausted before your day has even really started, maybe because you're still analyzing some awkward handshake from 2019, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today we're looking at a topic that affects pretty much all of us, yet we rarely stop to actually untangle it. We're going to break down the mechanics of a racing mind and give you a real practical roadmap right out of it. Let's just dive right in.
So I want you to really ask yourself, does your mind obsess over every little thing, just over and over again? It's incredibly exhausting, right? I mean, you send an email and immediately analyze every single word you typed. Or a colleague gives you a slightly weird look in a meeting, and you spend the next 3 hours wondering what on earth you did wrong. That relentless loop, that constant playing and replaying of tiny details in your head, it's such a common human struggle. It totally drains your mental energy. But hey, simply recognizing that this is happening to you, that is literally the very first vital step to getting your peace of mind back.
Section 1. The Overthinking Trap. So here is the exact definition we're working with today. Overthinking is the act of constantly obsessing over small things repeatedly. Notice that emphasis on the word small. We're not talking about, carefully planning a major life event or solving some complex engineering problem. We're talking about the mind latching onto the absolute most insignificant everyday moments and just blowing them way out of proportion. By clearly defining this, we actually externalize it. I really want you to realize something important here. Overthinking is not who you are. Actually, scratch that. It's not a character trait at all. It's simply an action. It's a habit of the mind. And just like any habit, once we understand how it works, it becomes incredibly manageable.
Section 2. Thoughts are not facts.
Let's look at exactly what's going on inside our brains here. We've got facts and reality stacked right up against imagination and fear. The absolutely crucial takeaway is this. Just because a thought pops into your head does not make it a fact. When we're stuck in an overthinking loop, our mind is operating almost entirely in that imagination and fear zone. A lot of times, the things we're so afraid of are purely just our minds playing elaborate tricks on us. It generates these wild worst-case scenarios that have literally zero basis in concrete facts. Once you learn to step back, look at your thoughts objectively, and ask, okay, wait, is this a documented fact, or is this just my imagination running wild? You instantly start to drain the power right out of that anxiety.
Section 3. Focus on your control.
Honestly, these two concepts might just be the most liberating things you hear today. First, work on what is in your control. Second, learn to accept the rest. It sounds simple, sure, but putting this into practice is a total game changer. You see, overthinking absolutely thrives when we try to mentally micromanage things we have zero power over. Stuff like other people's opinions, stuff in the past, or totally unpredictable variables in the future. If you can take physical action on a problem right now, do it. Fix what's in your control. But if you can't, well, that is where you really have to practice the profound art of letting go. And accepting the uncontrollable, that's not giving up. It is a highly active, intentional choice to take back your mental real estate.
Section 4. Tools for a calm mind. Let's see how this all builds into a complete, super effective toolkit you can use. Step 1 reminds us to let go of what we cannot control. That sets our baseline. But step 2 is where the real physical magic happens. Write your thoughts on paper. When your thoughts are just bouncing around inside your head, they feel massive, chaotic, and totally overwhelming. But the second you write them down on a physical piece of paper, they're forced right out of your mind and into reality. They suddenly look a whole lot smaller and way more manageable. Your mind feels significantly lighter because you're no longer forcing your brain to act like a giant storage drive trying to analyze everything all at once. And finally, step 3. Focus on the present moment. Overthinking only survives in the regrets of the past and the anxieties of the future. By intentionally anchoring yourself to right now, you literally starve those looping thoughts of the oxygen they need to survive.
Let's actually practice that present moment anchoring right now. I want you to just stop whatever else you're doing for just a few seconds. Take a deep, audible breath with me. Breathe in and breathe out. Really feel the air moving into your lungs. Pay attention to exactly where you're sitting, right in this very second. Notice how, just by focusing on that one simple physical action of breathing, the mental chatter just sort of pauses. Your overthinking naturally begins to decrease when you gently but firmly bring your attention fully back to right here, right now.
Section 5. Hope over fear. I want to leave you with this final, absolutely vital thought. Remember, every problem has a solution. Give your mind hope, not fear.
Think about this for a second. The mental energy it takes to imagine the absolute worst-case scenario is the exact same amount of energy it takes to imagine a really positive outcome. You are already an absolute expert at visualizing what could go wrong. So what if you started applying that exact same brilliant imagination to what could go right? You have the ultimate power to feed your mind with hope instead of fear. The next time you find yourself stuck in that exhausting mental loop, write it down, take a breath, and choose hope. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer. But before you go, I want you to ask yourself, what could you actually achieve today if you took all the energy you spend worrying and used it to imagine what could go right?